Hi everyone, this is Kyle Treadway. Hopefully you saw my previous video with my ERC20 token management dashboard. And now we're going to be moving on to my vesting management dashboard. And this is going to be an add-on to my scale package. This contract handles automated token vesting for teams, investors, advisors. So let me show you how it works on a live deployed contract on Sepolia. Before we do that, we're going to look up here and we're going to see the address to the actual vesting contract. All right, that's verified. And it can be audited by anyone. Now let's go back here and let's connect our wallet. Let's start up at the top here. Total locked, withdrawable, and active schedules. Total locked is the total amount of tokens that are already locked in a vesting schedule, okay? I pre-filled this contract with 1,000 STK tokens, right? And then I created a schedule earlier on to another wallet, which we'll go over, so they could start accruing money, and you'll see why that was important. And so since there's 500 locked in that, there's 500 left out of the 1,000. And the withdrawable has to do with the admin function where the contract can actually get those tokens back. And I'll explain more on that as well. And then the active schedule just means that there's one active schedule. This counts it as we continue to add them, and then it will decrease as well once the schedules are completed or revoked. And we'll go over what the revocation is as well. You see there's no vesting schedule here because the admin doesn't have a vesting schedule set for themselves. This is where you create the vesting schedule, where I can look up and I can actually, once I look them up, revoke someone's schedule. So if someone were to get fired, if someone left the company before their vesting contract was up, right, we can revoke it so they no longer get more tokens, but they can still release the amount that was already accrued up to that time. So let's check out the already vested schedule that was created. Now let's chat. So 500 tokens here, one active schedule. You could see before on the admin, I couldn't see this schedule, right? Only the person can see their own particular schedule. All right, so here we have a progress bar, which is claimed progress. It's not how far the vesting has gone. It's how many tokens that they have released out of the amount, out of the 500, which we've claimed none, but we're about to claim some, okay? And you'll see why 81.6 makes sense here in a minute. So the total amount for the schedule is 500. We haven't, or the person hasn't released any tokens yet. Why is it this number here? Well, if you actually take a look at the dates, we're at the end of March, right? But I created this schedule earlier on, so there could already be some money, and you can see how the claim works. So I dated it back roughly 60 days. So I did January 30th, and we have a cliff date and an end date. The start date's when the vesting starts. The cliff date is the day that you're actually able to start releasing tokens. The reason you do that is so people don't get all their tokens right away and then they dump everything, and then that just messes with the value of it, right? And then the end date is when it's full completion. They'll hit 500 total tokens at this time. Now, from start date to cliff date, you're still getting your increments every single day. You just can't release them and claim them until that cliff date, okay? So if you actually take 500 divided by 365, right, it's 1.3 or whatever it is. If you do roughly 60 days, it comes out to about 82, so just under 82. So this is exactly where it should be for the time that's passed. Okay, so let's go ahead and release those tokens and see what happens. So releasing tokens. Okay, we're going to confirm that we're going to release. Okay. All right, so tokens released successfully, and the progress bar went up the percentage of the 81. Now it shows this many released. There's none releasable now until the next day when the next portion gets set, right? And so let's view on Etherscan. All right, here we go. Now it shows the transfer of 81.692 of STK to that account. Perfect. That's exactly what we want to see. All right, so now back to here. Now, since there's nothing to release at the moment, right, this gets grayed out so they can't do anything, and now we're good. So let's go ahead and go back to the deployer account or wallet, and let's actually do a schedule. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab another address, and we're going to create a vesting schedule here. So I'm going to put in the address of the wallet that I want. How many tokens? Let's do 300 tokens for this one. We're going to do start date today, 30th. We're going to do no cliff period so we can see some tokens right away, and we're going to say 1 day. All right, so we can, and then we're going to see it come through, and then we're going to do a revoke on it. So let's create that schedule. And actually, before I confirm this, you're going to see the amount that's still locked in after the 81. That's still locked, right, to the first person we talked about. So withdrawable tokens is still 500 until I create this schedule. All right, so now we can view this on Etherscan as well. The create vesting schedule function, right? And it shows the contract of the vesting and the wallet that it's going to, right? Perfect. So let's go here now. There's 200, right? So this just jumped up 300. This is all locked. There's only 200 left. That's withdrawable right now for the admin. Right now there's 2 vesting schedules. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure that that went through. Let's go ahead and go to that wallet. Okay, boom, here we go. We did 300, we set it to 0 cliff days, so it's available right away in only 1 day. So a lot of it's already ready. So what I wanna do is I wanna go into here and we're gonna look up here. You can look up and revoke all the schedules here. So let's look them up. All right, here we go. How much did we do? 300. How much can they release now? It's active. Oh, well, they no longer work for the company. Okay, let's revoke it. So let's revoke that vesting schedule. Go to the wallet. Now it says revoked, but I'm still able to do 191 releasing, right? So even though I've been revoked, I still get what's already done for me. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and release these tokens. Boom, right? So that grays out. Now if I go back to the deployer, there we go. Right, so here's the amount. The active schedules went down to 1. Okay, the total locked is 418. So now the last thing to check out here is the withdrawable, right? So if I want to do this, what we want to do is hit max, right? 5833, sometimes there'll be like a small rounding thing, right? As far as what it'll show on the dashboard, but you hit max, it'll bring up the exact number that's able to be withdrawn that's not locked into a schedule. And let's go ahead and withdraw that. Right, there's an admin only function. All right, perfect. And that is how the vesting works. You can see this went down to 0. There's still an active schedule left. This much left for the very first wallet after we took out the 80 something, whatever we took out, 81 and change. And as that would continue to go, it would show a complete status at the end that the vesting is complete once it's hit the entire duration of the 365. Right, so that is how the vesting schedule works. So once again, this is an add-on to my scale package. Next will be a walkthrough of my Merkle airdrop dashboard. So I'm excited to show you that. Let me know if you have any questions, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.